All right, we are live. What is happening, everybody? Great to be here. And in this little session here, I want to share with you something that I've been really thinking about lately. And as I go around and I talk to my students and I talk to people online and some of my clients that I talk to, and there's a lot of misconceptions that people have about online marketing, certain things they believe that aren't necessarily true, certain things that, they think are true but are really not. And quite honest, there's a lot of those out there. There's a lot of those misconceptions, a lot of ideas out there that people have that really are not based in fact. They're more based in opinion. And so in this training, what I want to do for you is I'm going to share with you what I've chosen to be the top 5 misconceptions about online marketing that you need to know. And so this is a little topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. So I decided, what the heck, let's do it. Let's get it out there and let's start talking about this, because a lot of these things are what hinder people. So I'm going to dive right into it. When you come on, do me a favor, go ahead and comment. Let me know you're there. Let me know where you're watching from, because I'd love to know. That certainly helps me to kind of see where you are and who we're reaching. All right. So let's dive into this. The top 5 misconceptions about online marketing that you need to know. And the first one that I think probably we should count it down, but I'll give you the first one right off the bat. And this is, lots of followers equal lots of money. This is a huge misconception that people have. As a matter of fact, I was just talking with a client about this the other day, but people have this idea that if you have a lot of followers or a lot of subscribers or even views, so a lot of times people, they get views on videos. I've had people like uploading and putting videos on TikTok, and they're getting a lot of views on their videos, but those views are not translating into opt-ins or leads or sales of any sort. So what happens is people have this idea that, well, if you have a lot of followers, you must be making a lot of money. This is an absolute misconception, and it is not factually true. I know people out there, I've heard people out there, I've seen influencers out there who have big followings that do not monetize that following. In other words, they don't really make a lot of money from that following. And the thing is that I know people out there that have less than, say 1,000 followers, and they're making a multiple 6-figure income. So the idea that you have to have a lot of followers in order to make money online, whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's online marketing, direct sales, affiliate marketing, if you're having like a traditional business and you're just trying to bring it online and get more exposure, a lot of followers does not equal more money. So I know people who have very large email lists, and they have a very difficult time actually monetizing that list. On the other hand, I know people that have very small email lists that make 6 figures a year. Why? Because they've properly engaged that list. You see, so the idea that more followers, more subscribers, a bigger list equals more money is just a huge misconception that people have. And we call this vanity metrics. A lot of people get hung up on vanity metrics. I'll give you another example. A few years ago in our space, there was a gentleman out there teaching Twitter marketing. Okay. And Twitter at the time was very, very hot. And I just remember like everybody getting all excited because of the amount of tweets that they were putting out. When they looked at their analytics, they got all excited because the impressions of their tweets were going up. So in other words, somebody was like, I remember them showing a screenshot on social media several years ago, and they're like, look, I got over 1 million impressions on my tweets. And, everybody's like, oh, that's so cool. How awesome. How'd you do that? And in my mind, I'm thinking, who cares? Like, I could care less about impressions on tweets. And I just remember thinking that. I'm like, how many leads you getting and how many sales is it producing? Those are the real 2 metrics. Now, it's not to say you can't look at those things. And they do kind of give you a picture of, hey, maybe, maybe that kind of gives you an idea of who you might be reaching, but that doesn't mean that people are engaging. The size of a list or the size of the followers is one thing. How engaged those people are is a totally different metric. Okay. It's a totally different, metric that you want to look at. So don't ever be lured into the idea that more followers, more subscribers, or a bigger email list means that you're going to make a lot of money. I'm telling you, I know people that have very small email lists that kill it, and they go out there and they do more in revenue than people who have a list 100 times their size. Okay. But it's because of the way they've built a relationship with their audience. And that's what makes the difference. Okay. So that is misconception number one. So speaking of that, speaking of email, let's get into misconception number two. And misconception number two is email marketing is dead. A lot of people have this idea that email marketing is no longer relevant. And that just could not be further from the truth. As a matter of fact, I see it quite often. I'll give you an example of a post a couple months ago. Some big influencers in the space, digital marketer, and I'll just say it because they were right on with their post. And they posted something about email marketing and how email marketing was the highest ROI of any marketing channel anywhere online, and how email marketing was going to continue to do that kind of ROI into the future. And one guy come in and he commented and he said, I disagree with you. The younger generation is not using email, and they're moving away from email. So the future is not email. And I looked at that comment and I laughed, because while on its face, what he said was true. He said, that email marketing, the younger generation is not using it. So while he was correct in that assessment, he's not seeing beyond that. See, now here's the thing. My daughter, okay, she doesn't use email a lot, but she just went out and got a job about 6 to 8 months ago. She got a job at Taco Bell. And guess what? When she went to go apply, she had to have an email, and the communication with Taco Bell was through email. Okay. So now as the younger generation starts to enter the workforce, email will become more and more commonplace to them. So while what he said on its face was correct, he was wrong in looking into the future, because as people get older, as the younger generation gets older, they will become more and more acclimated to email and receiving emails and communicating through email, because it's going to be a requirement moving forward, especially when they get into the workforce. So if you're being told and you see that email marketing is dead, you have to ask yourself, what is it? What is the point that they're trying to make? And a lot of times it's because they're trying to make a comparison between what they're selling you and what they want to kind of go after. So I've seen ads out there that say email marketing is dead, and it's by a texting service. You see what I mean? So they're saying email marketing is dead. The new one is texting with your customers. Look, texting is a viable way to, connect with your audience, no question about it. But to say email marketing is dead is just simply not true. So this is another misconception that people tend to believe strictly because they heard somebody say it, or they saw a message or an ad of some sort, and then they start to believe it. And this is where people then start to put all their focus onto social media and building a big following, which goes right back to misconception number one, that just because you have a lot of followers doesn't mean you're going to monetize that following. So you can see how all of these kind of weave into each other, and they create these big misconceptions. So if this is gelling with you, give me a like, give me a heart, give me a comment, and let me know. Okay. So let's dive into number 3 and talk about that. This is another one that I see out there. Now, this one is probably my opinion, and it probably depends upon what niche you're in. But I see a lot of people out there who will put out ads, and they say something like, Facebook marketing ad costs are on the rise. And honestly, I've been hearing that for probably the last 5 to 7 years. And it's a common phrase that people like to use when they're trying to make a point, or they're trying to get you to think about, always you have to ask yourself, what is the direct motive of that statement? Okay. And so Facebook ad costs are on the rise. Now, in certain niches, that may be the case, but I know in my niche, my Facebook ad costs have gone way down. Okay, so this is another misconception about marketing and paid marketing is that ad costs are on the rise. Now, certain platforms, that may be the case, but I can tell you for a fact, at least in my particular niche, that Facebook ad costs have been going way down. I'm talking way down for me. Like, I used to generate leads at about $4 to $5 each, and now I'm generating leads for about $1.50 each. So my ad costs have gone way down. And that is, for me, I can see the evidence, and I spend, money on Facebook ads all the time. So keep that in mind. So you always have to question what you're hearing, always question it. Don't always just take things on face value because some marketer out there running an ad says so. The best way to find out what works for you is to do your own testing and to figure some things out on your own. Now, having someone of experience that can certainly help you kind of navigate the waters is certainly a good thing. But, you just have to realize that sometimes you just got to go in and test it for yourself. Okay. All right. So that's misconception number 3. Let's dive into number 4. And this is one that for me is very near and dear to my heart because, if you're around me and you've known me for a while, I love video marketing. Okay. I think if you're not creating videos, you are severely missing out and you're not connecting with the right people. You're severely missing out on what could be a huge game changer for you. Okay. So this misconception is, well, I don't need to make videos or I don't want to make videos. I'm just going to do something that doesn't require that. Okay. Now, can you make money? Can you build a business without creating videos? Yes, of course you can. But I can tell you right now, I believe it's going to be a lot harder. So a lot of people think, well, I don't need to make videos to make money. And while on its face, that is true, we are in a culture that people want transparency. They want to know who they're doing business with. They want to see your face. They want to hear your voice. They want to, see your mannerisms. They want to know who it is that they're doing business with. So creating videos will create that bridge for you. So if you're of the misconception and the idea that, hey, I don't need to create videos, I would really tell you to question that. Question that idea and ask yourself, am I saying that because I'm actually fearful about getting and putting myself out there? And a lot of times you're going to find that the reason people don't want to do them or the reason they've convinced themselves they don't need to do it is because there's really a fear there that they're covering of actually putting themselves out there. And 9 times out of 10, that's the real reason. Okay. So, misconception number 4, I don't need to make videos. I would say you're really cutting yourself short and you're really making things a lot harder on yourself by not doing them. All right. So let's dive in to misconception number 5. And this misconception is negative comments are a bad thing. Now, I kind of threw this one in there. I was thinking about, what is a misconception that people have. And a lot of times, when you're putting yourself out there, you're going to get negative comments. There will be people that will comment negatively on what it is that you're doing. But I will tell you the key is here. And if you've ever noticed, like the social media algorithms thrive on engagement. So negative comments on a video or a post of some sort is not always a bad thing. As a matter of fact, it creates more engagement and it actually gets your stuff out there even further and causes you to reach the people that you really want to reach. So for every person you piss off, you're probably going to find 5 to 7 people that really like you and like your content. So getting negative comments is actually not a bad thing. We actually just need to be better at learning how to brush those off, okay, and not take them personally. I've seen some people that have put posts out there that make a very, very challenging statement, something I don't even agree with, and they'll put it out there and it creates this mass negativity on their post. And I'm not suggesting that you go do this all the time, but what happens is it's created this idea and it gets all these, negative people commenting and the video starts getting pushed out everywhere. And now all of a sudden, all kinds of people are seeing it. And there's other people that are commenting that agree with what they said. and there's people saying that they don't. So it's created this kind of viral, idea and this viralness of the video, and it's just pushing it out further and further. So negative comments are not bad. And just recently I had a video that I put out where I just, talked about a little technique of when you're going live and you're holding your phone, don't have a tripod with your phone. And actually that little bit of shakiness that you have when you're holding the phone is actually engaging on the video. And I pointed that out and I got all these negative comments, people saying, no, I actually hate that. I can't stand it. But the funny thing is that was that negative feedback was actually fueling, because I wasn't, I got these negative comments, but it was actually pushing my video out further and it was getting more and more views. And then I also had people saying, oh yes, I totally agree. I agree with this. But there were other people that said, no, I hate it. I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. So the point is, negative comments are not a bad thing. And I will tell you that if you want to go out there and have an impact in what you're doing, you're not going to be able to avoid the negative comments. Okay? You're just not. And if you are so worried about getting negativity thrown at you, you are never going to have a real, true impact. Okay? There are people out there that are so afraid to have negativity come at them that they won't do anything at all. And they are not going to have a big impact. But I promise you, when you go out there and you attempt to, sell your product or service or educate people about your product and service, you will have haters. Okay. That's just the fact. You got to accept that. And if you're not willing to accept that, then, you really got to dig deep and ask yourself why. Okay. So just understand, not everybody's going to love you. Not everybody's going to think you're awesome. But there's going to be people out there that do like you and that do want to hear your message, and they want to hear what it is that you're offering. Okay. So these are the top 5 misconceptions, one more time, about online marketing that you need to know. Number one is the number one misconception is lots of followers, lots of subscribers, and, lots of email, subscribers, all of that equals money. That is not the case. Okay. It's not the size of your list or the size of the following you have. It's how many people are engaged with what you're doing and how many people, that's really the real metric. Okay. How many leads, how many sales am I getting? If I'm not getting that, I could care less how many views I get. That's another thing. Just because your video gets a lot of views doesn't mean anything. Okay. I've been putting out a bunch of short videos over the last couple months. Let me tell you, I get a lot of views, but those haven't necessarily always translated into leads and sales. But I've been doing stuff lately that is starting to translate into more engagement, and I'll be sharing that with you in the coming weeks, okay? But anyway, so that's number one. Lots of followers equal lots of money. That's misconception number one. Misconception number 2 is that email marketing is dead. We know it is not dead because the stats prove it every single day that people are using email more than ever before. Now, you do have to get a little bit better at writing emails. You do need to be more effective in how you communicate over email, but that does not mean it's dead at all. It's actually gotten better as far as I'm concerned. So that's misconception number 2. Misconception number 3 is that Facebook advertising is expensive. Another misconception, I have clients that do Facebook ads for $5 a day, and they're getting anywhere from 3 to 10 leads a day, spending $5. Okay. It works. You don't have to spend a lot of money. And if you think about it, $5 a day over the course of 1 month, that's only $150. So it's not like you have to go out and spend a ton of money to start running some Facebook ads or ads in general, to really get out there and start getting some traction with it. I have clients that are doing it every single day and getting great results. And then the next one is, I don't need to make videos. That's misconception number 4. You can make money without doing videos, but I think you're making it very, very hard on yourself by not getting yourself out there and not giving people the opportunity to get to know who you are. And misconception number 5 is that negative comments are a bad thing, when in fact, especially on social media, they're actually a very good thing because it increases the engagement. So I'm not suggesting always go out there and be controversial, but sometimes go ahead and state your opinion on something and watch something explode. Trust me, I've done it before. Okay. So not everybody's going to agree with you, but who cares? You're going to have a whole bunch of people that do. All right. So if you got value from this, do me a favor, comment on this. Let me know what you liked specifically. And if you know somebody that you think can get value from this video, do me a favor, share it with them in Messenger, tag them in the comments, grab the link, share it with them wherever you're watching this, and absolutely check it out, okay? Appreciate you. Have a great day. We'll be doing more lives, so keep your eyes and ears open, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.